reason for that is because it was kind of like, it went from heavy to the amount that I should have lifted. So to come out with that 10 to 12, this 12 would have been not impossible, but to come up from 10 to 12 repetition, you saw me struggling because of the fact that the weight wasn't at the moderate weight level. So it's kind of like a burnout. It's kind of like a, yeah. I think I'm going to take a little extra breather because it's going to be another bicep routine. And instead of 20, as I normally would, with 8 reps, cut it down to 15 pounds dumbbells for the 10 to 12 reps. Because just realizing, because secondary muscle, bicep secondary. It's a show-off muscle or whatever, but it's still secondary. Well, in the sense of capturing strength, some other scenarios I did here. This is how you can emphasize as well. Aesthetic routines. It's hard to do aesthetic routines, but there's a lot of emphasis on where the bicep is emphasized a lot from every angle. The bicep is emphasized in some form of fashion. That's why characters who dedicate to fitness and shit, the calisthenic routines. Of course, the bicep is perspective. There's no must. It's more or less you gotta be committed to that form. How I see it, you need a combination of the two to complement one another. Unfortunately, I just did pull-ups earlier. Yeah. So my body is like, yo, you're not finished yet? Hurry up. Fuck that. Yeah, it's going to be for the biceps. 15 pound weights, 15 pound dumbbells. Given the fact that it's 10 to 12 reps. So it doesn't need heavy weight. Maybe you might even need lighter. Remember, it was already emphasized again with the back. So I might have to use less weight in that sense. Side angle again, and you see I won't be jerking it up, and now I'm using the back as a secondary. I might go alternative like that. That was good. One secondary muscle, and it's in that perspective to keep me going with the high repetition. For the bicep curls, as I just did, dumbbell bicep curls, was the glutes. Sometimes they say you gotta squeeze your glutes and squeeze it hard to get that extra reps. You know what I mean? It makes sense. It does make sense because it keeps your spine. It does something to your body where your body is mobile. Sorry, where, you know what I'm saying, it's like a statue right there. Ain't going nowhere, and it kind of gives you a little oomph, a little bit. Like, but you can't, you know, if it's you can move around like this, or you could, you know, flex your glutes, and you're mobile, you're strong, you know what I mean? There's articles, there's like a good amount of articles. I know there's a lot of articles on it. Read a few, and it does make sense. I think from when I went up to that 8th repetition, I must get into the thing again. I must get, damn, feel that shit. It's nice. About to take off the shirt again. Yeah. After this set, it's like two more sets. This one and another one. That's always a good feeling. Teeth are all clenched up and everything too. Body stable. And constantly breathing. You know, as one side of the dumbbells go up, you know, as one side go up, the other side goes. Some people do that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. But sometimes like one side goes up, the other one's going down. In that sense. But no, go all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. But its breathing is still consistent. So my body is well warm and full of blood and everything. But let's look at my shirt for a second. It's still cool down here. My body doesn't feel that in that sense, but if I leave the shirt off, my body will. Put it back on. It's like 30 seconds to a minute. So I'll get back in for this last set. So that was it. That's it for the biceps. 2 different routines that I did. Anyway, last but not least. Now, This one is machine back extension. I ain't got no damn machine back extension. But the good thing about it, weight training is much better than any form of like machine. Any. You know what I mean? Even like the squats, still powerful than a leg press. You know what I'm saying? Leg press gives you that extra oomph in the muscle you have. But they got skinny characters like where, you know, doing that. And it's like, you can't grow from that. You got to start off with the bench. You got to start off with the squat. Using the barbell on your back to get that full range of motion. And you put tension on your lower back, mind you, yes, but it's not bad. It's needed, it's necessary. You know, to stabilize the back, keep the back straight, all that good stuff. If you want a machine, you know, leg press, the back is pressed against the apparatus. Where you practically sitting down. Nah, that's you isolating your legs, in a sense. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That could be done, but they compare working out to everyday life, or even something happening. The leg press machine, I can see somebody doing some kind of leg press to push something, or put their back into it and press with their legs or whatever. But you can still do that form of fashion by just doing squats, just doing regular squats and, you know, squatting up and down, and just adding more weight in time. Anyway, I'm gonna use light weights for this. This is the machine back extension. Instead, I'm gonna do the good morning. It's called good mornings, where emphasis on your lower back, same as that machine doohickey you wanna use, or they want me to use. The alternative is good morning, which is a good look. A good look. It's good to know these things. Order it. Go back to junior high. And again from Muscle and Fitness magazine, Flex magazine. You know what I'm saying? That's more or less like archives for me right now, reference material in that sense. Because everything they do in there, some people will say, well, that's not even, it's because they bodybuilders, they could do that. But everything they're doing in there is reference material based on, like, oh, you found a routine for yourself now? You can go backtrack. You could see how well it's done. Overall, there may be some product, or, you know, some supplement, and most of the supplements are no good. Placebo, mind you. But it's all about money, and you know what I'm saying, the fitness industry, $1 billion. It's ridiculous. Anyway, you see, I'm gonna do it either this way or front. Since it's been a minute doing it this way. Good morning. I'm gonna do a front where it's like a stiff leg deadlift instead. It's lighter weights, of course. Knees are bent. Back is straight. Emphasis on the lower back also. Emphasis on the lower back as well as the hamstrings. Always keep the knees bent. At least until you're bending. least as you start bending. You bend your legs, so you take up the stress off, or at least no overstretching the hamstrings in that sense. Well, what else? Yeah, that's a good alternative to that machine, mind you. I'm like, what the hell? You're sitting on a machine, you're just going to be pushing the berg. The same feeling applies. The same. Not the good morning though. Good morning it has to be a lot lighter weight. But this is 50 pounds, so I'm gonna write that down and make sure it's for the stiff leg deadlift. So instead of using a machine for your lower back, stiff leg deadlifts emphasizes the lower back as well as the hamstrings. So again, as well as the mid back. As well as the upper. So the rules, from primary to secondary, mid, as well as the hamstrings, and the next will be the mid back and upper back, in that form of emphasis. It all depends if your legs are stiff more, if you not stiff more, but if you go close to, or if it's less bent than recommended, there's more emphasis on the mid back towards the upper. Because but it's almost like your body as an a rubber band. The elasticity, there's but so much of elasticity under weight when you go on stiff leg. Because I felt it started like stiffening up the hamstrings, so the mid back towards the upper back got emphasis to keep everything stable. The lower back wasn't affected because it had to, as the hamstrings got stiff, the lower back couldn't go any further, but still going down, and it was emphasized on the upper back, mid back and upper back. So keeping that in mind, keep the legs bent, put emphasis on the lower back. But either way, it's not bad because of the weight. It's not heavy, and the back is still straight nonetheless. But it's overall a lightweight, so you don't hurt yourself if you go. But always keep it in mind. Keep everything in mind. Now, strangely enough, so I bend my legs. Less emphasis on the hamstrings because it's not it's getting stretched. So the mid back is getting hit as well as the lower as I go up and down. And man, what else? And it's like a partial deadlift. It feels like partial deadlift. I just put myself into like that. With that said, I'm trying to think I'm trying to debate right now. I kept thinking. Yeah, it's like I said, third set. Yeah, it's done. But the second set I talked about with the upper emphasize. But I almost got confused whether it was 2 sets or 3. Then I said to myself, if it was just 2, I'd have been good still, because I did some martial arts where I feel my mid and lower back still. Because it's almost like, looking from behind, tucking in your belly, tucking in the leg, and then kicking back. That put that's emphasis on the lower back. Once you're kicking back, that hits your gluteus to whichever leg you're kicking back with. It's going to emphasize the lower section of, like, if it's the left side, that's pressure on the left side of the lower back, or mid to lower back. You gotta feel it. It's like a corset. You understand? It's like that's how a different kind of feeling. It feels like as if it's a corset. And they've been saying that shit. This is funny. You got the muscle in your body. It's your lower back, mid back, lower back. Once that area gets emphasized, they compare it to having to wear a corset or some shit. And for your abdominals, that's what it is. Corset works emphasis on your abdominals and your lower back, or midsection of the body. Now, the alternative is to work out the area. And with the workout of the area, most people would compare it to wearing a corset, which is funny. It's kind of funny. Because I'm walking right now, I'm like, flex like towards my upper back. No, sorry, flex the mid back. The mid back section, yeah, the mid of my back. Flexing that area towards the lower. And everything not everything in between. Then there's the abdominals. That's alternative side, but it's still part of the whole function. But it's opposing side, so the next day, which is tomorrow, will be abdominal routine. That's it for my workout. Damn, I can't even calculate. I wanted to calculate the shit on a fucking mic, but at least I can see it through this. Okay, so it's a better time frame. Which I'm not saying overall. I still gotta stretch. Much better time frame than Joe Wader's doing. Still give props to the man. It was just a long time to put emphasis on all the workouts. That's truly for bodybuilding. That's the lifestyle. You know what I mean? And there's ways you can get body like that without having to put in all those hours. But I'm going to be proof. They say this in that song, not from RP. But anyway, the chorus goes, that's I'm here to be living proof. Leave it up to me while I be living proof. Keep the truth to the young black youth. That's one of my goals. It's you know what I'm saying, like, as I'm speaking. Try my best to keep it on the positive note and maybe influence people in a positive sense. That's one of my goals, to influence people. I mean, that's how it works as a personal trainer in a sense. Even as I spoke to my client periodically, it's ironic, she's a personal trainer, and we've been speaking for a good while, and she mentioned about life coaching. And I'm like, I've been knew about that in a sense. But she threw it out there where it's like, that's the life of a personal trainer in a sense. Like they become a personal trainer not only for the body but for the mind. Not saying I've been knew that, but technically speaking, that's what it is. Because some people get fat, depressed, whatever, and they want some form of satisfaction from the inside out. But it takes a toll on the body. Once you get you feel depressed. Some people get fat from the depression. Anyway, so in that sense of personal training, it helps. It's not only to help their physical. It's to help their mental as well. Motivationally, you know what I mean? Not no. Oh, but you do this, you do the other. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. You do this. Do this. Do as I say. No. It's more or less, you're doing a good job, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Keeping their spirit up. I believe in that. Keeping one's spirit up. You know? And that's what it is, like, all this freaking material, how is that helping the spiritual? Starting to realize that shit. I mean, even as I'm doing this, working out, lifting weights, how is that really helping my spiritual? So, I can't really say, oh, material. My body, I make my body, I use myself as material. I guess in that sense. Because that's what it is. Like, if the material is not being sold, oneself is being sold. You know. I remember one time, because I know better now, I had a freaking 25-pound, like, rolling around the same way. I said, let me try to catch that shit. That shit rolled. Try to go under it. Smash. Smash my fucking finger. I'm like, damn, that shit was crazy. Just for a good length of time, I managed to get the workout in still. I said never again. But that shit keep rolling. Let it keep rolling. And even like, I may go old, or if I go heavier, gotta throw mats down on the floor. Cause it's either me or the weights that's dropping. It's either weight dropping by itself or I'm dropping with the weight. I'm gonna let that shit drop. But if it goes heavier, if I have to go heavier, I just throw mad mats. And just bounce on the mats. I'm not gonna get those Olympic rubber plates. Them shits is great. I don't want to say it ain't too expensive. The thought is there, fuck it. The thought is there. I might just use those instead of rubber mat. So I have to throw the rubber mat down. Them shits is like rubber. It's like fucking. It's like thing right there. It's like tires. It's like rubber tires. So you can drop them shits. You can throw that shit overhead and drop them. So whatever remains to be seen when I'm getting that. I'm going by my own pace in that perspective, where one could grow without all that weight. Because again, this is a lot of repetition I'm going through right now. And there's a few characters that emphasize hypertrophy that I know of, and they don't lift heavy. They just lift to look good. And the less weight, the more repetition, the more defined. So in any form of fashion. So I give props to Joe Wade's bodybuilding system. But that's not the only system. But people do give praise to his principles. You know what I mean? Once again, as I mentioned earlier, the principles. Like for instance, I think I mentioned it in the beginning when I was doing leg extensions. I'm going to stretch right now. I'm going to put this bench away. I have room to put it away. Like when I was doing leg extensions, okay, leg extensions, yeah, I was going up to, up to 10, maybe, more or less. Did a little brief pause. And I said, yo, this is power out there. And I can go up more repetition, take that breath, take a breather, and just go into the next set. Sorry, the next 2 repetitions, or 1 repetition. And that principle is called rest pause. That's where you're taking a taking a breather for a quick 2 seconds or so, and you get back in by adding more repetition, get that extra reps. You know what I mean? I may be wrong, because different principles, and that rest pause might be a different statement. So it might be wrong, I'll correct myself, somebody else will correct me. Either or, I'm about to stretch. I'm like busy counting. Why not? I don't know how I got a runny nose, so yeah, I know why. And don't hate if I use my shirt just now. Shit. Who cares? Ooh, what a feeling. I think tomorrow's routine more or less is gonna be on like for the chest, shoulders, triceps, and the abdominals. Now with that, there's certain types of stabilizers in the back of the shoulders that has to get hit after. It's rarely mentioned on the net, but on a professional level, they still know better to emphasize that, because it's a fact that you have to hit those, it's not stable. Yeah, it is stabilizers. Those are stabilizers, and it's good for you to work those areas out to get a better bench in. Keep your strength. And, keep your body aligned. It helps alignment, and there won't be any form of injury in that sense. Because as your pecs get stronger, the back muscles behind the area has to get stimulated. I'm trying to remember the name of it right now, but can't recall. But I remember there was one thing I'll tell you, there's like a shoehorn, a special shoehorn that does a workout routine for you. But you don't have to purchase that as I did. I purchased that some kind of shoehorn that wraps around upper body, right, the tricep, not the tricep area, trapezes, upper back. It lays on your upper back, and there's an extension on it where your arms are levitated, like it's parallel, like your upper arms are parallel to the floor. No, sorry, your lower arms, your biceps, triceps. Some shit. I'll do a demonstration real quick in a minute. I'm stretching calves and stretching the ankle area. Well, anyway, there's a shoehorn. It's called a shoehorn. Not a shoehorn, but some shit wraps around you, lifts your arms, keeps your arms stable. and you can go up and down with it with some weight on your hand, and it stabilizes behind you, right here, like certain area around here, inside, you know, and you could do that as I just did without that kind of apparatus that holds your arms up as you're doing it. And there's other kind of routines as you're laying down. It goes from here, and then from here it goes up there. Those type of routines to hit that area with weight, and not very little weight though. Anyway, more stretches. Continue to stretch. What I just did might have been a little cheesy. Let me do it again. It's like you're blocking, coming in, going into the chamber, and you're sitting down in the squat. See, this is just me getting into the squat. Like, there's various ways to get into it. This is the second fastest. First one is like, out, feet out, and heels out. Toes out, heels out, toes out, heels out. And you're sitting into it and stuff. Next one is just jumping into it. That's the fastest one. Second fastest is what I just did, which is, just saying the type of speed, which it wasn't that fast. Gotta wear these pants with these up. I had to do that for the leg routine. Not the squats, but the leg extension and leg curls. Notice how, as I stretch the hamstrings legs are straight. When I'm done stretching it, I loosen the hamstring area by bending the knees to take off the emphasis off the stretch from the hamstrings. Take off that emphasis and get into a position where I'm squatting. Guess what? It goes to a squat, going back up, and it's a pressure off the lower back. There's no pressure on the lower back, and the pressure comes off of if your pressure is on your hamstrings, then you're using your lower back for emphasis. You're emphasizing your lower back, getting up. Whereas if you bend your legs, as it's always been said, with your legs, there's less emphasis. There's less emphasis on the lower back. If not any emphasis on the lower back. Trying to see how this is. Pull that in. Yeah, pull this down a bit, and just move it to the side. Move it to the side. Move it over here. But anyway, I'll do it the way I normally do my thing. Normally I would be on this side. Did I sit into the, no, I didn't do that yet. Then do this, yeah. Stretch the groin. And since I do this routine, this particular stretch often, it helps with the squat and going into a lower squat. That's what I noticed. Which is like, especially if you lift in like it's lighter weight, and because it's more repetition, try your best to get the full range of motion and then some. You know what I mean? Because there's articles I've read, and so it's highly proven that in the beginning, especially, that you should start to use light. You have to use not use light, but yes, use light weights and go full range and beyond if you can. Because the heavier the weight gets, for squats that is, the heavier the weight gets, your legs will be more and more parallel, and might go less than parallel. You know what I mean? In comparison to getting a full range and trying to go beyond parallel, you may be able to keep staying beyond parallel instead of less than parallel when you're lifting heavier weights. The only characters that does that mostly is the power lifters. No, sorry, Olympic lifters. You know what I mean? Like, they literally sitting on their ankles. It's fucking ridiculous. With weight on their back or overhead as they squatting. I'm like, wow. So in a sense, I give CrossFit the props for exposing that. You know what I mean? They got me to expand my horizons in that sense of Olympic lifting. I used to just think about gymnastics and whatnot in that sense of Olympics, but they do at least they emphasize gymnastics, Olympic training, and calisthenic routines. Calisthenic routines, gymnastics type of routines. Only thing is, everybody goes by time, speed, and the density of the weights. Now, in some perspectives, the faster you move the weight, the stronger you can get and even lift heavier weight. But not to say anything too tough about CrossFit, but you know, there's a lot of people got injured because they lifting heavy, and it's going in. They're going in hard. They're trying to beat their times, trying to reach times that Olympic lifters reach. These aren't typical Olympic lifters. Typical athletes. You know what I mean? These aren't typical athletes. These guys are huge. These guys are animals right there. They're freaking monsters. You know what I'm saying? And they got people following on some, okay, let's say if they're monsters, you could say, trying to say they're bears. Those are bears. Let's say the bears. And they have a bunch of bunny rabbits trying to follow the bears. I'm like, well, watch out. If the bear gonna wipe your ass with you, use you to wipe their ass. That's what it is, though. They're using. They had a great marketing scheme where a lot of people joined the bandwagon and money is being made. The money is fitness. But people getting hurt. And I thank God that my shoulder has healed in that perspective. I nearly injured that shit doing like clean and jerk like no other, like fast forward. That shit is crazy. Thinking, oh yeah, I'm strong enough, I could do, you know what I'm saying, give or take like half of the weight or a percentage of the weight and doing it fast. It's not a good look to do it fast. There's a time to do it fast. Even. You know what I'm saying? You build foundation, work your way up towards that speed. And then you just go start all over again. It's gonna get bigger if you want to keep the consistency. Sometimes you gotta drop the weight, go for hypertrophy, go for the endurance. Go for endurance first and go back for hypertrophy and then go back to power. You know what I mean? In that sense. But it's like you gotta go periodically. You know what I mean? You gotta start from somewhere. And you know, you gotta go from light to moderate to heavy. Then light again to moderate heavy. But the light will be heavier, the moderate will be heavier, heavy will be heavier. It won't be the same as it was It won't be the same as it was before. There's progression, slowly but surely, not no fast and furiously, which is it's not helping a lot of people out there. Not CrossFit not CrossFit, but there's a lot of people who's like athletic. They're throwing up athletic routine, and so mind you, even me getting up from the split, it's like I had emphasis on my lower back. Of course, my workout for the day was emphasized. The lower back was emphasized, you know, as well as the legs, you know. And when you just getting up from that, it's like, oh, a little stiff a little bit, but just a little bit. But still, like overall, I got through a good workout routine. In comparison to I'm trying to think, like if it was faster routine or what have you, you won't even realize that you hurt yourself until the next day. Shit like this gotta be done slowly. That's all. You go faster eventually. Not like the stretching I'm doing, but the lifting of the weights, like weightlifting. You do it like moderately fast. I'm not saying like faster than normal, but not no gung-ho type crazy. That's like, it's crazy. Because even like the strong ones, they get hurt. Of course, everybody get hurt. People get hurt. Fuck it, people get hurt. But there was a controversy with CrossFit, and I got through that injury. I had a little minor injury through CrossFit. That was like, what was it, almost a year now? Just a year past. So as I've been working out through different systems, my body recovered, thankfully. You know, I can continue. And I live to tell the tale. Not live to tell the tale, but just like, more or less I'm able to work out and tell the tale. Still work out and tell the tale. You can see it's like trial and error, but wouldn't want to go through that again. I would go back and do CrossFit again, but in a slow range of motion, because even slowly, from the heavy, when there's no weight, there's speed in that perspective. It's almost like martial arts, how you do it slowly, and you feel your stabilizing muscles, and then you can go all out with speed without hurting yourself, because your body to muscle memory, it remembers how to do it, and those muscles get activated within the speed, because they've been activated from the slow motion. You know what I mean? That's what I learned from Kung Fu. Tai Chi, even like people don't sleep on Tai Chi. Tai Chi is the shit. I wish I would. I need to get it. That might be the next routine that I get into, Tai Chi. But it's slow motion, and it's still self-defense, and it's already the foundation is already all the other Kung Fu styles. You know what I mean? But just even my own, you know what I'm saying, the styles that I learned, the various styles that have been learned, I can go into that Tai Chi slow motion. I remember doing all of that through Wusu. You know, they always they emphasize that to move slowly, and then when you get there, when you feel good enough, go all out. Just do what you got to do. Right now, I'm just walking slowly, walking around slow, because I'm done. I've been spending a lot, so just walking around. I may put an extra thought in this perspective, because I have a mic in front of my head. I'm so mad. This thing in multitask too tough. Maybe it's that OS 7 or whatever. This is 6. I did downgrade that shit. No, actually. actually because of the sim, some kind of sim. The secondary piece where if you upgrade it, it's gonna break. Where it's not the illegal download. We can download stuff, but more or less just to have the phone on in a perspective of what was it? Yeah, simple mobile even. But right now I'm straight talk in my phone. So in the sense of putting a secondary carrier in a primary phone like AT&T joint. Yeesh. Yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, because I'm tired right now. I can't just like, anyway. You know, walking around still helps. So this is a cool down. The stretches that I did before this walking around as I'm doing. The cool down for, you stretch what you worked. Muscles just got worked in. There was a lot of contraction and extension. Concentric, eccentric. And with that, you gotta stretch the area that you've been, you're flexing and stuff. Yeah. You flex the concentric. You gotta stretch it out. Stretch out the body, stretch out the muscles. Even the muscles that weren't stretched. The muscles that weren't worked out, but they were still worked out in a secondary way. Because when I was doing pull-ups, I felt a little bit in my chest area, the pecs getting stretched from it. And if I was pulling up, it would have got a lot of emphasis with flexing my pectoralis in that sense as well. As I'm flexing my back, from pulling up. And the shoulders got hit. You know what I mean? The shoulders is more or less for tomorrow's routine, but it got hit during the pull-ups, the negative pull-ups. As I'm going down slowly, I feel like the back of it, the posterior deltoids, as well as the remaining deltoids, like it's the lateral area of the deltoids, the side, and I think the front as well. I believe the front got hit as well because it was going slow. Yeah, the shoulder gets emphasized in most movements. Pulling the back area, shoulders get emphasis. So chest and shoulders did get hit today, but it's going to be more primary tomorrow. And the triceps going to get hit too. I'm trying to think if I did anything today that might have put some emphasis on the triceps. Busy walking around, I ain't even set the time for myself for it. Just walking in a sense, in like a pace, where this is how some people do it, talking in their head, so you know, loud. Mind you, I might make this making this a habit, fuck it. There's good habits and bad habits. What I just said, I said, oh, make it a habit, bump it. I said the cursor right now, I'm now correcting myself. You walk around without a shirt. So you see various angles all together. But thank God, in between the workout though, it might have went into secondary mode of when you feel hungry. It goes into that next level of hunger, where you don't feel hungry no more. It's taxing your body. You tax your body, boy. So you gotta put that emphasis in. You gotta put that nutrients in as soon as you go back upstairs. Put the nutrients in. Yeah, it's another school I went to. Let me give them any props. Oh man, they burnt my body up. I was like, damn, this is like, I ain't doing no endurance type of routine for a few months. And they put me on some endurance. But he burnt the whole of my body up. I'm like, kudos, I give you props. I get that, I give you that. That's why people go over there. Like, people got money go over there. That shit's expensive. I'm gonna see what's up though. You know what I'm saying? Because I can still do like periodic sessions, just to keep that maintenance of the martial art. But then I may go back to Wusu, go back to Kung Fu Wusu and stuff. Because that's where I got my foundation. That's where I got my skills from. You know what I'm saying? Oh, your kicks look so good. That you've been here such a short a time. I'm like, yo, I put emphasis. I told you when I spoke to you the first time. Yo, that was bullshit. You know? I just thought I was like watching videos and fucking doing it off the video. That's what I'm trying to do now. Being that I know the foundation, I got the foundation from years. But, like the video is a different story, so might as well just, stick to what I know. Stick to what I know and just keep doing that shit. I remember they mentioned, you could learn 1,000 moves, but why not do a few moves 1,000 times? You know what I'm saying? And real life, oh man. The moves that I learned from Kung Fu Wusu, those are deadly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you keep doing what you do, it becomes second nature, and that's second nature. I was doing some movements from Wusu the other day, mentioning about the back kick, where you turn your head, and you can literally see where your kick will hit. It's freaking ridiculous. I was doing that so many times because I was like, oh shit, I can see the kick. I can see like exactly where I could kick from behind from behind me at less than 45 degrees. So I can see a character. No, not even. I can see them like right there, alignments. So like I don't even have to turn my head all the way around, but my leg is all the way around, and I can see from the very end of that spectrum where the leg will hit. And I said, oh shit, I still got it. So I kept doing that. That's what emphasized the lower back workout. That's what emphasized the lower back workout. That's why I was like, oh damn. If I did with the workout I just did, with the stiff leg, or semi-stiff like deadlift, or even partial deadlift in a sense, I didn't. If I was debating, was it 2 or was it 3 sets? If it was 2, I would have still left it alone because of the fact that I put emphasis on the lower back for my martial art this weekend. It was Saturday.